Ellis Island. This is by National Geographic Kids. This is another nonfiction text. If I look at the table of contents, I have a lot of options. It not only tells me the title, but it also tells me the page number. So if I look through here, because it's nonfiction, I can read anything or any section at any time. I usually like to start with the first chapter always, and then I can hop around. So I think I'm going to start at Island of Hope, page 4. It was New Year's Day in 1892. Annie Moore took her two little brothers' hands. They walked onto the dock at Ellis Island, New York. A government building on the island had just opened. There, workers would decide whether to let them into the United States. And we have a caption here. The main building on Ellis Island as it looks today. This is immigrants arriving on Ellis Island around 1900. Wow, that's 120 years ago. Annie and her brothers were immigrants. They had come from another country and were looking for a new life in America. Annie would be the first to walk through the building's doors. Over the next 30 years, millions would follow. And then we have a words to know box. Immigrant, someone who comes to a country to live there permanently. So these guys traveled on a boat from their home country to come here. That's a fact. Annie's $10 gold piece would be worth about $200 today. Wow. This statue of Annie Moore and her brothers stands in Cobh, Ireland, because that's where they came from. 17-year-old Annie had sailed across the Atlantic Ocean from her home in Ireland. She and her brothers made the trip alone. Their parents had moved to New York City 2 years earlier. They had saved up the money to pay for their children's trip. Officials looked over the kids and said Annie and her brothers could enter America. Because Annie was the first immigrant to arrive at Ellis Island, one official gave her a $10 gold piece. It was the most money Annie had ever had. Aha, that's why they're saying a $10 gold piece would be worth $200. Words to know. Official. A person who is elected or given a specific job, often involving work for the government. So if I go back and I think of Island of Hope, this whole section was about how people came for a new life. So Ellis Island was a place where people came for a new life. It's kind of our main idea. Uh-oh, big, bold, that means I have a new heading. So I could read here, but because it's nonfiction, I don't have to. So I think I'm going to jump around. I think I'm going to go to buildings of Ellis Island because I've been there and I kind of want to know what those buildings are. So let's go to page 16. Buildings of Ellis Island. Ooh, I like this page already. It's got a bunch of different captions pointing at different buildings on the island. All right, here we go. The cafeteria. Ellis Island cooks prepared and served meals for immigrants while they waited on the island in the cafeteria. Baggage and dormitory. Some immigrants didn't get permission to enter the United States right away. They had to drop off their bags and head to dormitories where many slept in bunk beds. Oh, could you imagine sleeping in places with people you don't even know? Hospital. So these two buildings were hospitals. Sick immigrants received treatment here before being allowed into the United States. And just so you know, if you were too sick, they sent you back on the boat to your homeland. The main building. Doctors and inspectors checked millions of immigrants in these halls. They were looking for signs of disease or any other reasons an immigrant could be too dangerous to allow into the country. And last but not least, the stairs of separation. After going through inspection, immigrants came to a staircase in the main building. It was divided into 3 aisles. Immigrants were sent to a certain aisle depending on whether they were being held on the island, staying in New York, or going to another part of the country. So the stairs of separation. So this is just another part of nonfiction. Nonfiction has so many different levels. I think I have time for one more. Cool facts about Ellis Island. Sign me up. Page 24. Oh my gosh, this is a different layout. I love it. So it's 6 cool facts about Ellis Island, and it goes through them, 1 through 6. Number 1. More than 40% of Americans today can trace their roots back to one or more people who came through Ellis Island, meaning one of your family members might have come through Ellis Island. 2. During its busiest years, Ellis Island had 5,000 immigrants pass through it per day. 5,000 people a day. That's a lot of people. 3. Fiorello LaGuardia worked as an interpreter on Ellis Island for 3 years. He later served as a U.S. congressman and then as mayor of New York City. There's an airport in New York called LaGuardia Airport. What if it's named after him? Making a connection. Number 4, more Ellis Island immigrants came from Italy than from any other country. Ooh. And this is a Colosseum in Rome, Italy. So they came from where this is from. This is in Italy. 5, made completely of wood, the original Ellis Island buildings caught fire in June of 1897. They burned to the ground in 6 hours. The current buildings opened on December 17th, 1900. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. This is a drawing that shows the original buildings. I love these captions because I wouldn't know what I was looking at. And 6, less than 2% of the 12 million people who passed through Ellis Island's doors failed inspection. They were sent back to their home countries. Could you imagine getting this far and having to be turned away? That'd be terrible. So, yet another type of nonfiction.